Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this particular video tutorial, we are going to take a look at Python variables. Okay, so without any further delay, let's try and create the Python script file. Okay, so as I showed in the last video, you just can right click on your project, click on new, and you can click on this Python file. Name it whichever name you wanted to give to Python file. So let's say we'll give it as Python variables. Okay, so it will create this particular Python file with Python variables, and this is where we can write our code. Now in this particular video we wanted to take a look at the Python variables part, right? So declaring variable in Python is pretty straightforward, and it does not need to have any kind of data type declaration and you like in general language, right, where you have to generate the data type, I mean declare the data type, and then you can assign values to it. So in it is kind of a non-declarative language where you can just start writing your code. Like for example, let's say I wanted to declare a variable as x, and I wanted to initialize the value is equal to 5. So this is as simple as that in Python, that you don't have to really declare a data type for your x variable, that I wanted to store int, so the data type would be int and whatnot. Basically you just can start typing and assign the values to that variable. So on the same lines, you can even have the strings as well. Like for example, hello world, the typical thing that we can just look into. So that way you can declare these kinds of variables. And printing value is again the very simple thing. So it is like the Python has this print function where you can, like, whichever variable you wanted to print, you can print it. And let's say z. Okay, so let's try to run it. How to run it is you just right click on this and click on run Python variables, right? So it will just print the values for you, that x value is 5 and the value which is stored in z is hello world. Okay, so if you wanted to append any kind of string behind this, then the format that you can follow is just uh, add that particular thing in double quote, and then write whatever string you want to write it, like value of variable x is equal to, in the curly braces you give the name of the variable, right? So that way you can have this string, and after this string it will print the value of actual variable. On the same lines you can have the similar thing here, that value stored in z is equal to, in the curly braces you should type z, right? So that way you can just print these values. So let's go ahead and try to run this now. So see, if you see, the value of variable x is equal to 5. So this, whatever value you are giving, whatever variable name you are giving in the curly braces, Python will replace that particular thing with the actual value stored in that variable. Okay, same is happening for even z as well. Now let's try to understand one more thing. Now let's say what we want to identify is what kind of data is being stored. Now as a human being, you and me knows that phi is an integer and hello world is a string. So in x we are ultimately storing the integer, in z we are ultimately storing a string. But how to get this particular data type through Python? So basically Python has a class or a method or a constructor called as type, and if you pass your variable to that particular type method, then it will return you the kind of a data type or data which is stored in that particular variable, right? So as I mentioned, type, in type, let's say you wanted to see what is kind of a data or the type of the data in the variable that is stored, that has stored the value for x, right? So you can write it in this way, that type of X. And if you want to print this, then just add the print statement. Okay, and let's try to run it. So if you see, it will give you class int. This is the output that we get when we try to print the output of type method, right? So it will give you that it has stored the integer value. You can clearly see it here. Same way, if you just print it for z, then ideally it should return as the string, right? So if you see class str, so Python, in a Python terminology, there is no like complete string as a class string. Instead of that, they have the abbreviation for it probably, which is str, and it has written us that type of X is int and type of z is str. So this is how you can declare the variables, print the value of the variables, the curly brace option, and you can also identify that after assignment what kind of value, what kind of data type is being stored in a particular variable. So I hope you understood this the basics things: declaring a variable, printing the value of a variable, and like how to get that what kind of data is being stored in a variable through this video. So thank you guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.